A classified briefing to Congress, intelligence officials said it's not clear what happened, but CNN has learned new details about how the CIA is trying to figure out exactly what did happen here. U.S. intelligence operatives are now talking to rebels and defectors to see what they know. At Fort Detrick, Maryland, these videos are being analyzed by the Pentagon's classified medical intelligence unit. Officials tell CNN military analysts are looking at the patient's symptoms and conditions, along with reports from Syrian doctors, to see if the symptoms of suffocation and convulsions match a potential chemical attack. Intelligence analysts are also looking at satellite imagery to identify movement of chemical weapons or launches of missiles that could have carried chemical warheads. They're looking at intercepts of cell phone and internet traffic for chatter about attacks. If an attack is proven and if President Obama were to order military action, CNN has learned Turkish and U.S. aircraft in southern Europe are close enough to launch airstrikes. The U.S. Navy is also maintaining a classified submarine presence in the Mediterranean, along with surface warships that could fire missiles to destroy chemical sites.
We are looking at a wide range of operations, and we are prepared, if called upon, to be engaged.
Intelligence officials say because there are no U.S. operatives or military personnel on the ground inside Syria, it may be very difficult to prove exactly what happened. Barbara Starr, CNN, the Pentagon.
A new computer attack has just become public. This time, the targets are American politicians. Hillary Clinton and both Presidents Bush and former UN Secretary of State Colin Powell may have had their emails compromised. CNN's Brian Todd has the story.
A hacker who is reported to have broken into correspondence involving former presidents apparently has found a new target. Confidential memos to Hillary Clinton from a former aide have been hacked, according to the website Smoking Gun. The Secret Service says it's investigating. Smoking Gun says it has been in touch with the hacker known as Guccifer. The memos, which Smoking Gun says were in the email account of former Clinton aide Sidney Blumenthal, have information on the September attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. Our efforts to contact Guccifer were not successful. Smoking Gun, owned by Turner Broadcasting, the parent firm of CNN, could not provide someone to go on camera with us. Sidney Blumenthal, who has not worked for the government for several years, would not comment. Cybersecurity expert Michael Sutton says this hacker has a diabolical method.
He's not going after the individual that he ultimately wants to get to, but rather the family and friends, the ones that are in communication with them. And of course, if they're on the receiving end of the email, you have the email.
Another expert said Guccifer may be doing this to zero in on the politicians themselves. According to Smoking Gun, there are also hacks of emails and pictures circulated among friends, relatives, and aides of former Presidents George W. Bush and his father. Some of the emails reported reflect sensitive issues regarding the health of George H.W. Bush. The Secret Service tells us it's investigating the Bush hacks, but Guccifer could make that a challenge.
It looks like the hacker took pains to cover his tracks. Instead of forwarding the hacked emails and attachments directly to journalists and others that would have looked like this, he recreated them, copying and pasting the text into new emails. This one, posted by Smoking Gun, shows that he put the text into a pink background with a casual font style that looks like a written note. Experts say he did this to make it harder for investigators to find metadata that could be traced back to him.
We could not get comment on the hacking from Hillary Clinton, from any representative of the Bush family, or from former Secretary of State Colin Powell, though he did confirm that his Facebook and email accounts were hacked. Who is Guccifer?
Often the demographics of an individual like this are male, young, highly intelligent, and the fact that they are getting recognition for their success continues to fuel them.
Based on its correspondence with him, Smoking Gun says Guccifer subscribes to conspiracy theories and claims the government has investigated him for years. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
We now shift our attention to sports, where effort aimed at reviving and promoting wrestling is continuing, with the Ministry of Youth and Sports spearheading the campaign to regain wrestling's lost glory. Stakeholders have been touring the country with a view to reorganize and restructure the country's traditional sports. Ahmad S. Jallo was embedded in the wrestling tour and he now reports.
Wrestling team receiving their bronze medal during the 2011 ECOWAS Wrestling Championship held in Dakar, Senegal, after finishing 3rd out of 16 West African countries. That splendid performance by the country's wrestlers reignited the hopes of wrestling enthusiasts that yes, the country has what it takes to do well in wrestling. Since then, efforts directed at revitalizing and promoting the traditional sport are championed by the Ministry of Youth and Sports as they try to put the right structures in place. The latest move was a sensitization tour of the country by officials of the Youth and Sports Ministry and the Wrestling Association. The first leg of the tour took them to Kerewan, Janjambure, Basse and Jarasoma. Top on their mission, which started in the North Bank region, was to set up regional wrestling committees and to propose a wrestling caravan tour in all the regions.
We want to set up committees that will look into wrestling in every region to make sure that they have worked cordially with the federation. They have to be affiliated with the federation. They also have to work hand in glove with federation, because if we decentralize all these setups that we want to set up, we think the wrestling will work in the country and it will move.
The regional wrestling committees, when established, will be tasked with organizing and coordinating wrestling activities in their regions, whilst the planned wrestling caravan tour will be a three-day wrestling fiesta in each of the regions, with a view to raising funds that will be used to sustain the regional committees.
Whereby the best wrestlers from the village will compete at the district level, and from the district level, now they will go to the regional level. And when it comes to the regional level, we have also a plan for that. And then Ablo will tell you about our preparation towards a nationwide tour.
For the governor of North Bank region, the move to revive the country's indigenous sports is in line with the country's development aspirations, whilst the North Bank region sports chairman reiterated the region's readiness to embrace this noble initiative to promote wrestling.
Agree that wrestling is a traditional sport, and it is only the people of this country who can revive it. With the support, we will be able to raise the flag up. I know, hearing from what you have said here, I think we have started some steps.
Wrestling in particular is to be given a special focus, because in the vision of our regional administration, it is our desire to be cultural giants in this country. For North Bank to emerge as a region of, as the cultural giant among regions in this country. And in order to be a cultural giant, fundamentally, you need to revive your culture, so that all those cultural facets would call for revival.
The message in the North Bank region was the same in all the other regions, with stakeholders committing themselves to the cause of reviving the age-old sports. The tour party left the island settlement of Janjambure feeling satisfied, having been assured by those in Central River region of their willingness to resuscitate the sport that remains very prominent and loved by the people of the region. For the people of Central River region, wrestling is an ongoing process. All they need is the intervention of the ministry and the Wrestling Association. Basse in the Upper River region was another place where the call to revive wrestling was received with open arms. Members of the Regional Sports Committee, one after the other, spoke on the importance of promoting wrestling, which they believe can bring the country glory. Fru Gomez, who heads the region's sports activities, promised to set up a committee within 2 weeks and work will commence immediately. He, however, stressed the urgent need of putting in place the right infrastructure. The 4-day sensitization tour wrapped up in Jarasoma. Like in the other regions, stakeholders in the Lower River region also resolved to make this move a success. The latest move by stakeholders to regain wrestling's lost glory looks promising, and if the words of the stakeholders are anything to lean on, the initiative, when implemented as planned, will surely bring the results. The tour continues in West Coast region, KNC and Banjul, but for now, wrestling enthusiasts will be waiting and watching with keen interest. Ahmad S. Jallo, GRTS Sports.
From sports, we join the Central Focused Office for a look at the weather report.